Hey guys, I'm back this weekend with another topic for the Nitpick Files. While I finish reading What Dreams May Come and Needful Things. And this topic is fairly new, at least I think it is. It is the Disturbing Movie Iceberg. And why it is included in my Nitpick Files? Because there are some titles on here that I don't think belong, for reasons I will get to shortly. Also, there's a number of titles I personally think belong here more than others. Alright, so the top two tiers here have your run-of-the-mill slasher horror films, a few supernatural scares, some science fiction, and body horror. The third tier is your really hard-hitting, stomach-turning, unforgettable, disturbing movies, complete with content that kind of lives with you for days. And a couple of these come from books. I have 120 Days of Sodom. It's considered a classic. And I'm saving it for a future episode that I won't be sharing on my Facebook page. Okay, the bottom four tiers look like a general toss-up that's open to interpretation of caught-on-camera gore like Faces of Death and banned from television, and a lot of nonsense with titles that look way too ridiculous to be taken as more than just low-budget efforts to be gross and crass and as violent as the imagination can be. And that right there is what makes disturbing content. The idea alone is a lot more disturbing than its presentation. There are a few titles on here that I personally wouldn't call disturbing, just based on how much of them I saw on other YouTube channels, particularly horrible reviews. Like in the fourth tier, Slaughter Vomit Dolls is just a bunch of bulimic sex workers. And Where the Dead Go to Die is a Windows 95 animation with no real story. Just a lot of really indecent content, and a lot of really bad adult falsetto of child's voices. And when I looked it up on IMDb, the writer and director's name is Screamer Claus. And one of the reviews describes this piece as herp derp. So with that being said, if your nom de plume is Screamer Claus, and your magnum opus goes down in history as herp derp, you fail. Okay, but what is missing from this list? It looks like a pretty extensive list, more so than just a few broad strokes. But I'm also interested in hearing what you think. So, why isn't The Fly from 1986 on here? There's other body horrors on here like Tusk and Human Centipede, but why not The Fly? Is this metamorphosis from start to finish not disturbing? Is this nightmare sequence of a woman birthing a maggot not disturbing? Come on. On a related note, why is Bite not on here? It follows the same human to insect body horror premise as The Fly, but with a woman. Granted, she still gets to keep her face, but she also spits stomach acid and grows a stinger tail that she kills her friends with. Is that not disturbing? Now, like I said before, the idea itself can be more disturbing than its presentation, like in a true crime story. So where is Heavenly Creatures on this list? It's disturbing enough for top tier, even if it's only at the very end. The sound effects were too damn good. The sound of that makeshift flail coming in contact with Mummy's cranium again and again left my stomach turned for days. And there's a book for a future episode. Now, what about the worst in human behavior? All of it perpetrated by and against children. The butterfly effect, anyone? If you love dogs, you might want to skip this one. Trust me on that. On that note, worst in human behavior. Don't get me started on them. That was hard to watch because all the individual demons aside, that kind of racist cruelty really happened. Do the words cat in a bag make anyone else want to vomit in a bag? Now, on to science fiction. Why isn't alien resurrection on here? Was that drawn-out death scene of a human xenomorph hybrid being slowly piecemealed to death through a dime-sized airlock not disturbing? I get it. It's ugly as sin. It shouldn't be. It's a natural killer and it has to go. But like this. Okay, we're not supposed to feel sorry for this thing, but the sick sense of pity generated here is undeniable. What about Predator 2? Anyone else kind of freaked out by the drawn-out details of the Predator cleaning its trophy? And what about Alien vs. Predator Requiem? I only caught part of it, and the parts I caught left me with a feeling of disgust. This Predator, even though this particular one is part xenomorph, is supposed to be the penultimate intergalactic big game hunter. And this one attacks babies in a nursery and pregnant women in labor. Get out of here with that shit. What sucks even more about this movie is the cowardly way it concludes. They all tuck their tails and drop a nuke on the city. No final girl like Ripley or final dude like the Governator or Danny Glover left to take out the trash. And that's all I have to preach about on the disturbing movies topic. Thank you so much for watching. I'd like you guys to chime in and give me your thoughts. And as always, subscribe to help my channel grow. And click notifications so you never miss a thing. And I'll see you back next week for What Dreams May Come.